Bred to Win, brought to you by INGLIS, the INGLIS May Sale Series. Mares, Yearlings and Weanlings, Riverside Stables, May 2 to 9.
Hello, I'm Searcy. Welcome to a new week of Bred to Win. Coming up, we look back at the INGLIS Australian Easter Yearling sale, where future champions of the turf found new homes in 2 days of action-packed selling. We'll round up the Aushorse news of the week, beautiful behind-the-scenes vision in Cambridge Stud Farm Life, and bring you the INGLIS Graduate of the Week. Plus, Asian Bloodstock Services Marie Yoshida in Arrowfield Studs, the horse who made you love racing. We start though with the latest bloodstock news thanks to Aushorse. The INGLIS Australian Easter Yearling sale produced a sensational result for breeders, with 22 lots sold for over $1 million and over $134 million in prime thoroughbred bloodstock traded. We'll have a full wrap of the sale with Mark Webster shortly, but the clearance rate has improved to 89% and the sales average sits around the $370,000 mark. And if you want to see the pedigree power of the top 4 lots, G1 Goldmine's pedigree profiles give an idea of how elite these bloodlines are. You can see the $2.5 million Snitzel Rising Romance colt in the aptitude profile could be more suited to performances over the mile, looking at the bubbles in the graph, rather than as a stayer in the mould of his Oaks winning mother. For the second top lot, the $2.1 million Exceed and Excel Peace Force colt, the impact profile at right contains plenty of green, with green and gold colours registering the success of similar crosses in other group performing racehorses. The first yellow line in the page for the $1.95 million Hipstone Live filly shows the I Am Invincible Stravinsky cross has worked with 7.3 times more success than the G1 Goldmine algorithm suggested it should. While in the first green line in the pedigree of the Cosmic Endeavour colt bought by Tom Magnier for $1.4 million, you can see the I Am Invincible in Costa de Lago cross works 3.6 times better than projected, all of which give these magnificent athletic blue bloods every chance of performing beyond expectations with any luck on the track.
But Nature Strip goes back-to-back in the TJ, and this is an annihilation.
The INGLIS Graduate of the Week comes through the Melbourne Premier Yearling sale, courtesy of Australian Horse of the Year, Nature Strip. The son of Widden Studs Nakoni, Nature Strip was a back-to-back TJ Smith champion as he scored his 6th Group 1 success. Nature Strip went through the 2016 INGLIS Premier Yearling sale but was passed in for $90,000. He now has earnings of over $8 million. The royally bred Nakoni by B&Coney from the wonderful producer Nicola Lass will stand at Widden Studs New Victorian Farm in season 2021. The INGLIS Early April online sale is highlighted by 7 Godolphin racehorses, including Damaged, who has won 1 and placed in 2 of his 6 starts, and Raoul, who's placed 5 of 5, including behind Black Opal winner Kalashnikov in Gosford in February. The Godolphin lots will be available for inspection at Riverside on Tuesday, April 12 and Wednesday, April 13 from 9 a.m. Time for a break. On Bred to Win, we'll come back and have a look at all the top sellers from another fabulous INGLIS Australian Easter Yearling sale. We have the Cambridge Stud Performance of the Week and a gorgeous story on the foaling unit at New Zealand's famous thoroughbred nursery in Farm Life.
Explosive Jack goes to Young Werther. I think Jack
The Cambridge stud performance of the week has to be the Kiwi trifecta in the Australian Derby. Explosive Jack by Jackalbury from the Ekra mare Extra Explosive was sold by Luigi Mirolo's Navara Park through the 2019 NZB Yearling sale for $100,000 to Peter Moody. The colt is by Italian Group 1 winner Jackalbury, who was third in Green Moon's Melbourne Cup and stood at Navara Park before his death in 2018. Cambridge stud's late sire Tavistock sired the runner-up Young Werther, while another NZ-based stallion contributor produced third place getter Lion's Roar. And now for our second edition of Cambridge Stud Farm Life, looking at one of the world's great champion producing foaling units.
Sometimes after the rain as well, you can see, like, if one of them's a bit hot, you can see the steam coming off them. We've just got a mare walking down the back which we look like might be foaling, so we'll just go and have a little nosy at her. We have Jezebel, and she looks like she's just broken water, so we'll just bring her in. Just checking her presentation. So we've got 2 feet, and we're going to hit there.
How are we going, Vanessa?
I'm good.
Good. How's presentation?
Very good.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Just grab these couple of feet for you. Pull that around. Oh, lovely. Heck. Now what we do here, we look for all its vital signs, make sure it's breathing. Oh, what a little corker this one is. Each year we foal somewhere between 200 and 250 mares, so it's a thing that happens normally in the middle of the night, sometime, the night hours, and you never get sick of them. We've just got another one coming through. Looks like a mare called Passionate Lucy from here. Very busy night. She's in foal to Embellish, our young Zavabeel stallion. I've been at Cambridge Stud for 25 years, so we've seen a few foals come through and a few champions, and here we go, look at that. Oh, I've got a little bit of white coming on this foal. Oh, here we go. Just jump over that. This is our 15th embellish. We're wrapped here at Cambridge Stud with the quality of embellish foals that we've got on the ground so far. Oh, we've just popped up. First steps to stardom. Mare's lovely and content. Foal's very close to being on the suck, so couldn't be more happy.
Despite a lack of international buyers on the ground, the 2021 INGLIS Australian Easter Yearling sale had all the usual theatre and great success stories for buyers and sellers. Let's look back on an incredible 2 days of selling here at the Riverside Stables, where these gorgeous yearlings are set for further stardom on the track.
At 2,500,000, at 2,500,000 bid, at 2.5, 2.1 million, Will.
Mark, what an incredible couple of days of selling here. We'll talk about some of the theatre, the emotion and so forth, but talking about the figures first of all, quite incredible. 22 lots selling for over $1 million, 2.5 million for the top seller. Well done to you and your team.
Yeah, thanks, Caroline. It's been an incredible week here, and of course the last 2 days of selling. There's just been this great feeling all the way through. We haven't felt like there's been a lull or anything in the sale. So to sell, as you say, 22 lots at $1 million or more, and to be, have the second best gross that we've had, we're sitting at 132 million as we close out. That's probably going to get to 134 or 5 by the end of the week. The average is on par with the best that we've had, sitting up there at 372,000. So Yeah, look, if you asked me to write the script at the start of the week, I wouldn't have written this.
No, exactly. And we've talked about through the coverage that we had on the INGLIS website and going out further, the incredible emotion behind so much. Vinery with the $3 million lots getting clapped out as they went out by all the other teams of Yearling staff on the first day or the first night. And, Anthony Thompson so emotional with $1 million lot on day 2, and so many other stories and backstories. I think you can fill your website with this for months and months to come.
Yeah, that's right. Look, lucky we've got a lot of cameras around now. We're doing a lot of that sort of media content. But you're right, there are a lot of stories. There were a lot of smiles. There were a lot of tears. A lot of expectations exceeded by clients. So, I'm really happy for the clients. I have to mention Vinery, leading vendor by average. They did an outstanding job. And of course, Arrowfield were the leading vendor by gross sales, and they're back up over 20 million, and happy to have them here.
Yeah, and of course the buyers too. We often see someone really dominating the buying bench, but again here this was showing how hard it was for the buyers necessarily to get the ones they wanted, but such a great spread of buyers still from around the world, even with very few internationals here.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there are buyers here, without being specific, but one that does buy for Hong Kong. There was beaten on a lot of horses, and in prior years was able to buy sort of pretty much what they wanted. So that's a little frustrating on one side, but with the glass half full, Caroline, it just suggests for the breeders, it's encouragement to put more horses into this sale, certainly better quality horses, international class horses into this sale, probably more colts at that top level, because the demand is there, and unfortunately that money goes unspent if we don't have them here for this sale. So certainly the scope for more at the Easter sale at the top end.
Yeah, I mean, we're just at the end of day 2 now, we're recording this, but at the end of day 1, a lot of the pass-in lots were actually sold through the ensuing hours. I mean, overnight and into today, a lot of those horses, the vendors really met the market, didn't they?
Yeah, look, they do, and pass-in lots are nothing for people to be worried about, if you're a potential buyer, because there's been so many pass-in lots over the years that have ended up being great racehorses on the track. We talk about Shitakra is a great example of that, and of course Fastnet Rock, but there have been so many that have gone on to be great stars on the track, or stallions in the case of Fastnet Rock, so we shouldn't worry about stuff like that. So it's not too late. We keep it open for 30 days after the sale, and people can go to the INGLIS website and have a look at the pass-in horses.
I've got to cash him. I've got to sell him. I've got to do it now at 5. At 2,500,000, at 2,500,000 bid, at 2.5.
But looking at the top lot, of course, $2.5 million, the Snitzel Rising Romance Colt from Arrowfield star John Hawkes, Michael Wayne and the team. For $2.5 million, they were determined right from the outset to get that colt.
Yeah, they were. Look, I didn't know this at the time, because Wayne said that it was the second horse that they looked at during the sale. And John has said, I'm not leaving without that horse, so that's interesting to know. And of course, that's how things played out, and John put together the syndicate of his stable clients and made it happen. So we're delighted. I mean, it was spotting a nice horse. I think a lot of us saw it, but not all of us could put, not all the buyers could put together the syndicate to spend at that level.
Yeah, that's the business behind it, isn't it? I mean, we saw Vinery selling the Exceeding Sell Peace Force colt, $2.1 million. As I said, the $3 million lots for them on the first day. But we saw the proven sides. Then I Am Invincible selling the next couple down, the Hips Don't Lie and Cosmic Endeavour being the sire of those next two, 1.95, 1.4. But you're also seeing Seamus Mills, Tom Magnier, Bryce Hayes. Again, it's that real mix, but really pleasing to see Coolmore obviously buying and selling. Newgate were buying and selling as well. It's the way the business has gone.
Yes, that's right. Look, we've got to go through the buying sheet in a little more detail, because there's lots of new partnerships there. But I guess a general review of that is that Tom Magnier and Associates,
yes.
Coolmore and Associates, have spent around $8 million, and very similar number for Tony Fung Investments, around that sort of number of $8 million. So they're at the top of the buyer sheet, but there's a really good spread. So from our perspective, that's healthy. We haven't, we're trying to sort of beat that record of 2008. But in 2008, we had 2 buyers spend $20 million each.
That's right.
So to have our leading buyers here around 8 just shows that the load is being shared by a lot of buyers, and that's a sign of a really healthy industry.
Ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to offer the very last Redoute's Choice colt, the very last Redoute's Choice colt here.
John Massara has been kind enough to join us from Arrowfield as we reflect on the incredible career of Redoute's Choice. And John, congratulations to you and the farm. We saw the last colt go through the ring, and after it was passed in, I said, well, Don Bradman went out for a duck in his last innings, but the good news is he was sold.
It was a bit of a stuff-up, and it was sold, yeah.
So, Guy Mulcaster, Chris Waller.
Yes, he bought it at what the reserve was meant to be, which is 400.
Right.
So, that was good.
Incredible contribution Redoute has made to your business, but also to Australian racing or world racing.
Well, his gross domestic product, he's an economy unto himself.
That's right.
Redoute's Choice. If you add it up, his service fees, the prize money he generated for the owners of his produce, and the sales that came through for the progeny, it added up to between $1 and $2 billion. Massive amount of money, really.
It is for one
and that was spread right through the industry, so it was a lot more than Arrowfield.
Yeah.
Great colt.
The legacy is like Danehill, his sire, isn't it? I mean, what Redoute now leaves, what Snitzel then will continue to go on and leave. You know, the incredible amount, not just the dollars, but the impacts on people's lives through this one particular champion sire.
Yeah,
incredible.
Well, he's passed away, but he hasn't gone.
No.
Because every weekend, you've only got to look at the pedigrees of the winners. They're either by sons of Redoute or Redoute himself, or out of daughters of Redoute.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is incredible, isn't it? A filly, the last filly's about to go through the ring in a moment too. Take us through the emotion of your farm as you present these yearlings for the last time with that name, Redoute's Choice there.
Well, we could get our stallion manager to come up and do it, the job. Right. He really couldn't face it.
Right.
So we did get the last one offered by Adam Shankly, who's been with us for 20 years and has lived through the whole Redoute's era. And he felt he could hold it together while he presented the horse, so that went well. But no, it's an era that's passed for us. And now we're into his sons and grandsons, and we think very kindly of him. We've not been able to fill his box with another horse. We can't get ourselves to do it at this stage. We will, no doubt, at some stage. Some horse will emerge and we'll say, well, he maybe deserves to be in the old boys' box.
We saw the emotion, the last Redoute's Choice colt going through, in the end being sold, and we had John Massara on set as the last filly went through from Fernrig for $760,000. So, you know, there again, the emotion, the last Deep Impacts, the last of the Seabrings. Yeah, these horses have meant so much to so many people, not just financially, but emotionally too.
Yeah, they have, and they've been great contributors, of course, to the farms where they've come from or where these stallions have stood. So many breeders have made money out of those stallions over the years, and of course auction houses like INGLIS have made plenty of money out of those stallions. So look, it's sad to see them go, but when you talk about, you know, stallions of the future, you know, there's a stallion like Caplis who had 2 lots make $1 million here, and it's just his first crop out running. So there will be stallions that step in now and take that place over the coming years.
Yeah, and the hospitality's been sensational. I didn't even get in the auditorium at all. We were just glued to what we were doing because every lot was so interesting to talk about for the online coverage. But we saw from where we are now, we could see out here an incredible amount of the buyers and everyone sort of milling around. It's just an incredible vibe, a really kind of collaborative vibe, even though people are competing.
Yeah, look, it works well. You know, it's great to have a space inside where people can sit and have a little bit of respite and something to eat and drink. But out here, of course, there's a lot of business done out here, people just mingling. And for me, it's the best chance to catch up with people out here. I just come and stand out here for a while and I can run into 10 people and catch up with what their plans are or whether they're happy or unhappy. Good thing is the sentiment over this sale has been happy. I haven't had one person complain to me.
That's a rarity.
That doesn't mean anyone can queue up. It's too late for that. But yeah, I haven't had one single complaint about anything during the sale. So that suggests that, you know, things have gone well. And if for some vendors they haven't quite gone that well, perhaps they have a good understanding of that.
Well, that leads me into the final sort of question. I know it's way too early. You have lots of reviews to do. But the 2-day format, obviously, you know, it worked. We're not selling too late at night. It was, you know, a good pacey sort of day for everybody. How do you see the 2 days? Would you want to add more to the sale maybe, or obviously something to talk about in the future, but just your general gut feel?
Oh, look, we'll talk about that in the debrief. We've been running the 2-day format for 2 years now. Well, last year was sort of a blur, but for 3 years, yes. We've had 2 proper runs of it in a live environment, and I think it works. What I like to see, as I mentioned earlier in my commentary, would I like to see a few more colts at that top end? Yes, I would, because the demand is here for that. So perhaps we could be a little more selective, if that opportunity presents. We're always trying to do that. That's not a criticism. We're just always trying to improve the sale. But you know, we're in the hands of the breeders there. It's up to them to pick and choose where they want to sell. But I don't think there's any better place, particularly for the proven size, the better quality stock. There's no better place to sell them. People should hold back, let them fully mature and come to a sale like this.
Another fantastic occasion for INGLIS, the vendors and the lucky buyers, and we'll be following these blue-blooded babies through to the track in years to come. Coming up on Bred to Win, internationally respected bloodstock agent Marie Yoshida in Arrowfield Studs, the horse who made you love racing.
This segment brought to you by Arrowfield Stud, the brand worth its weight in gold.
It started at a young age in Flanders, where I'm from. My father brought a horse back to our little farm and as a present for my mother. And we discovered she was a thoroughbred mare. Her name was Yamita. And then my parents started to look into the Jockey Club papers, and so she was by a famous stallion named Exbury. So when we went in the summer to Deauville, we visited Haras de Mottry, owned by the Rothschild family. Yes. And we could see, you know, the amazing location. Then my parents decided to breed Yamita. Then they started purchasing one more mares at Deauville December sale, and then another one. And they got very lucky with a mare named My Darling. And she produced, homebred in Flanders, a very good colt named Le Destin, means destiny, who ran third in the French Derby, the Jockey Club in Chantilly. And 2 years later, we had a 2-year-old filly from also out of My Darling, who ran third in a very important Group 1 for fillies at 2-year-old named Prix Marcel Boussac. And these special fillies, named Plaisir des Yeux, pleasure of the eyes, in fact became a wedding gift to me and my husband. So she followed me to Japan, and then she's now with me in Kentucky as a retired mare. She's over 25-year-old, and she's doing well, and I will never, you know, let her down. I will always do my best for her.
It is such an important time when you're young to really absorb this industry and fall in love with the horse, which makes you fall in love with the breeding side of the industry.
Oh, so true, you know, and you are very thankful for all these beautiful horses give you, the colts or the fillies. Of course, I love the fillies because, you know, you can have babies with them, and you can you can have your mini breeding empire. And it's very hard to find the right stallion. Like, do I breed to a proven sire, or do I go for the new fashionable, you know, boy but totally unproven? Or so I would recommend go proven. It's much safer, and go from there, you know, and hopefully you get lucky.
And we'll have a feature interview with the wonderful Marie Yoshida on Bred to Win in the weeks to come. That's all for this week's show. Join me again next week for an extended interview with China Horse Club's Teo R. King, looking at their star racehorses and young stallions and plans for the future. That's all next week on Bred to Win. I'm Caroline Searcy. Look forward to seeing you then.
Bred to Win, brought to you by INGLIS, the INGLIS May Sale Series. Mares, Yearlings and Weanlings, Riverside Stables, May 2 to 9.